Heading to Universal soon?
If so, remember these Wizarding World tips for a better experience. Hey guys, it's Courtney and Seth here today with another installment of
Unravel with the Jackson Travels.
And today we are going to be talking about specific tips and tricks for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal Orlando Resort, specifically both parks, Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade. So I want to stop you guys right now. We do have 2 videos highlighting both Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley, basically everything you can see in those 2 lands, worlds at Universal. So some of this may not make sense if you're not necessarily going in knowing what to expect. So if you haven't seen those 2 videos yet, I'm going to stop you here and recommend you check those out and come back. So without further ado, we'll start with tip number 1.
Tip number 1 is to don't wear your robe while you're riding Hagrid's.
So Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure is a roller coaster inside of Hogsmeade, more specifically in Islands of Adventure at Universal Orlando Resort. We did find out the hard way, though, the first time that we actually went to ride the attraction, that for certain seats, you actually can't wear your Hogwarts robe. So, of course, Seth and I wanted to be a little bit festive for our first ride and wear our robes. However, if you do have 2 people in your party and obviously you want to sit together, there is going to be a motorbike and a sidecar. So with the sidecar, of course, you're a little bit more enclosed. But with the motorbike, you're actually just sitting on the motorbike, so your feet and everything are a little bit more exposed. There's really nothing around you like it is when you are in the sidecar. So for that reason, they actually don't want you to wear your robe because it can flare back just due to the wind and possibly get caught on something. So we actually got all the way through the line, unfortunately, and I had to take off the robe and Seth had to sit on it. So just keep that in mind so you don't get flustered and you're kind of last minute freaking out once you get to the ride vehicle.
So tip number 2 is to designate a wand day.
So most everyone, if you are visiting the Wizarding World for your first time or you've been there multiple times like we have, a lot of the times we like to pick up a souvenir wand. A lot of people collect them. A lot of people actually use them in the park. So we are going to be specifically talking for this tip about the use in the park. So if you're unaware, we'll just kind of go over right quick the 2 options that they offer for the souvenir wands. So there's an interactive and then there's a plain souvenir wand. So the interactive wands you can use through Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley, and there are wand spots for you to actually participate in. However, a lot of the wands are pretty long and they're a little bit bulky, some of them can be, and it's just a little bit more difficult to kind of carry them around all day.
When it comes in the box.
And it does come in the box
case,
so for the first day.
That's something you'd be carrying around as well.
Yep. Go ahead and buy the wand first day when you're there. Or, of course, if you're not 100% worried about the wand pairing experience at Ollivanders, you can buy them in your hotel gift shop. Yeah, and there's a lot of options to buy them. Go ahead and buy it, have it sent to your Universal hotel, and designate a day to take it back and do those wand experiences. Because if you are carrying it around each and every day, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult because most rides and attractions will not allow you to keep it on your person. It's actually funny, a lot of the roller coasters and other attractions that are outside of the Wizarding World, the team members, when they are ushering people into the ride lines, they'll actually say, make sure you don't have any wands in your pocket or on your person. So we would recommend just designate a day where you can knock out all of those wand spots.
That can take some time,
yeah.
especially like some areas you'll find yourself waiting in line
to do the activity, the wand spot activity. So maybe kind of split that up if you can, and then the rest of the days you don't have to worry about that extra piece of baggage when you're going on all of the other attractions. So tip number 3 is to ride the Hogwarts Express both ways.
So what we mean by this is to get from Islands of Adventure to Universal Studios or vice versa. You can ride the Hogwarts Express if you have park to park instead of exiting the park and then entering the main entrance. And each time you ride the Hogwarts Express from King's Cross or from Hogsmeade Station, there's a different show.
Yeah, and we don't want to give any spoilers, of course, but it is going to be a little bit more specific to your destination. For example, of course, if you're coming from King's Cross Station and you're going to Hogsmeade, most people would assume, and like the movies show, you're going to Hogwarts Castle, so it's a little bit more centered towards that. And the other way, you're going to King's Cross Station, you're going to London, that projection's a little bit more centered for that. So don't miss out on either one of those experiences.
And the next tip is to take time for photos.
So funny enough, this is actually how Seth and I get a lot of the B-roll that you are seeing now for our videos. A lot of the times, the team members don't want you to go on any attraction with anything in your pockets. However, what we like to do is we like to set aside some time to take photos, which is exactly what you guys should do as well. Now, outside of attractions, you know, and the outside facades of attractions, those, of course, you're free to take photos of any time. But if you want some of those specific photos inside, for example, Hogwarts Castle or inside of Gringotts Bank, basically all you need to do is tell the team members outside of the attraction that you just want to take some photos inside. So you'll let them know, hey, I'm a non-rider, and they'll let you basically go inside of the queue and take as many photos and things as you want. Again, that's typically what we do for videos. So that is something that you guys can do that is open to basically any visitor. So just be sure to ask the team members outside and you can go in and get some great photos and videos.
So another tip is to not knock on the door at Grimmauld Place.
So this one is just kind of funny, but if you're not familiar with what that is, Grimmauld Place is the home to the Order of the Phoenix at Universal. It is in the London area right outside of Diagon Alley, and Creature can be spotted there. So Creature is the house elf for the Black family. He's also seen in the movies, and he does make a couple of quick little appearances by peeking out of the window there. If you guys want to know any more about this, you can check out our Diagon Alley Full Tour and Overview video. I'm giving you the really short condensed version. But all the time, Seth and I see people go up to the door and knock on it. There somehow is a rumor, I guess, that has gotten started, and it has grown and grown and grown, and you have to go knock on the door to be able to see Creature. That is not the case. So unless you were just simply wanting to have fun and you want to knock on the door for some reason, you go for it, but we just want you guys to know that is not the way to get Creature to appear. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to knock on the door.
So the next tip is to avoid congestion in Diagon Alley.
So this tip is a little bit of a pet peeve as well of ours, just because it is so congested in Diagon Alley, and typically the reason is because of the park goers. So a lot of people like to stand in the very narrow streets of Diagon Alley, basically just standing there with their phone or cameras out, trying to get a photo or video of the dragon breathing fire. This will cause an extreme amount of congestion. It's basically impossible to even walk because people are standing still. So we wanted to put this in just because we don't want to add to the problem or have you guys, get stuck there unnecessarily. So typically you can ask a team member if the dragon is breathing fire that day. Sometimes if it is going to be, or they're calling for inclement weather, or if it's a little bit too windy, they're not even doing it at all anyways. But typically on busier days, they may be doing it every 5 to 10 minutes. We've heard it could be every 10 to 15 minutes, so sometimes it varies. So just ask a team member, because usually they've been listening to it all day and they can tell you anyways. So you know when to go and snap a picture of the dragon instead of standing there for possibly 10 to 15 minutes at a time in the hot sun and kind of adding to that congestion. So just kind of keep that in mind. You don't have to do that, and you can plan for it. Just ask a team member.
And so the next tip kind of goes with the previous tip of the congestion in Diagon Alley, and that's to go through Nocturne Alley.
So there are a couple of different entrances to Nocturne Alley, but one is right at the entrance of Diagon Alley as you come in right to the left, the side of the Leaky Cauldron. So we almost always veer left before we even get to that crowd of people, and we get some really nice AC for a couple of minutes, and it will basically pop us right back out at the back side of Diagon Alley, actually with an even better view, in my opinion, sometimes, of Gringotts and the Dragon. So that is just I know it's a pretty small tip, but if you are somewhat claustrophobic, like we are, or of shorter stature and don't want to make your way through that crowd, You can get some free AC for a second, and you can avoid those crowds altogether. So the next tip is to look the part for an even more interactive experience.
So what we mean by this is that if you dress up sort of like cosplaying as a witch or wizard, team members will often interact with you more so than if you were just in regular street clothes.
So this can be basically any of the Wizarding World merchandise. We have worn our robes before, and of course anytime we have ridden the Forbidden Journey, which is the Hogwarts attraction, they always say welcome back, students, and kind of the team members throughout the queue will kind of play off of that. But even if you're wearing something as simple as, you know, what we have on now, like a Slytherin tee or whatever your house is, typically they will chat you up about that. So if you want that kind of extra universal magic, as they put it, you can always do that. And hey, if you're the opposite, if you don't want any of that interaction at all, don't wear any of that to the park. So I guess that's a double-sided coin for however you feel about that. But it is an extra fun experience.
And the last tip is to simply just take your time.
So I know that is easier said than done when you're at a theme park, especially one as condensed as Universal is. You know, everything is really kind of jam-packed, and you may not have as many days as you would like. But we really do mean that in the fact of look in every window, look in every shop, look in every store, even if you're not really there to buy anything, because there are so many details that they have put into both Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley that you will miss. So for example, there is a howler in the window of the Owl Post in Hogsmeade. You really have to go up to the window and actually look pretty specifically in one spot to be able to see it. And in Hogsmeade, Moaning Myrtle is in the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't even go in the bathroom, you wouldn't even know that. It's in the public restrooms for the men and the women's. And you go in there and she's basically talking the whole time. Like, that's a simple little detail that you wouldn't know unless you went in there.
And something else that I like is the sign in King's Cross, which is the Make a Little Magic poster.
Yeah, that's directly from the movie.
Yep.
So again, just a little something. So we hope you guys enjoyed this video and found these tips and tricks and pet peeves helpful for your trip to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal Studios Orlando and Universal's Islands of Adventure. Please be sure to like this video, comment, let us know if you've ever visited or plan to visit either one of these sections in the future. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more Universal content coming soon. So until next time, we hope to see you on the next adventure. Bye. And special thanks to Mad Mod Labs for his collaboration to repair our studio television. Be sure to check out Mad Mod Labs on YouTube and subscribe for electronics, 3D printing, and retro gaming.